Hello, darlings. I'm Savannah Erasmus, and I'm a stand-up comedian, producer, and freelance writer. Before a show, I like to really just emotionally spiral and physically pace. Yeah, that's kind of like my nervous habits before a show, and I don't drink, and I kind of just like to have some zen time and just be alone because my social battery definitely needs to be recharged before I go into a comedy space.
We love to make you laugh. You're very, really with funny. All the jokes we have. You're very, really funny. That's why we do what we do. You're very, really funny. We love to make you laugh. You're very, really Vancouver, funny. We love your laugh. It's YVR Funny.
Welcome to the stage, Savannah Erasmus!
Hello, darlings. Hello. I don't mean to make everything about me, but don't I look amazing? Yes. Yes. Twirl for the cameras. Thank you. I'm Savannah Erasmus, and I'm so excited to be here tonight. A little bit about me. So I'm Cree and Métis, and I'm actually from Treaty 6 territory. On my mom's side, I'm Dene from the Cold Lake First Nation, and on my dad's side, I'm Cree and Métis, and I was raised in the Kikino Métis settlement. And I just love, thank you. I just really think it's important for you to know who I am, where I come from, and the communities that claim me, because Cree and Métis people in this country, we have a lot of fans in academic spaces, you know? So, yeah. Yeah. I'm really excited to be here tonight. And don't be scared, but I would love if you could all repeat after me, okay? Don't be scared, repeat after me. Okay. I love drama. Yeah, no punchline. I really had to assert my dominance in this space though, you know? Here I am. Yes, tonight I'm here on behalf of a group that has been demonized and minimized in media spaces, you know? Communications major. Yeah, I'm actually here to represent confident women. Yeah. Yes, I am a confident woman, and I blame my mother, you know, because when I was growing up, my mom really made a conscious effort to remind me how powerful I am, how proud I should be, and that other people are jealous of my outfits. Yeah, she really shared that gift with me. So that's why I'm a confident woman, and that was really impactful when I was younger, and I really just thank my mother for that gift. But now that I'm older, 26, now that I'm older, I realize now that she is, in fact, a Nickelback fan, so I can no longer trust anything she says. Yeah. She's a Nickelback fan, and that is, repeat after me, toxic. Yeah, I'm 26 now, and when I was younger, I was really actually ashamed of the color of my skin. I'm a Cree woman, Cree Métis, of dark skin, so when I was growing up, I was ashamed of the color of my skin, and that's really hard to admit in this vulnerable, raw, real comedy space, you know? But yeah, when I was a young girl, a teenager, I would wear the wrong color foundation to distract from the color of my skin, you know? Because I didn't want to be seen as dark. So yeah, imagine me, 14, walking around wearing green face paint. Yeah, I feel like I really got the job done. That is my experience. In addition to my mother, I feel the reason that I am who I am today, a confident woman who is 26, is because of the matriarchs that really gave me a lot of lessons and teaching. Like my cookum, she really modeled to me the importance of reading and literacy and care and generosity. Like when I was growing up, I would always watch her at the kitchen table, at the dinner table, always with a book in hand. And she was always reading, and I feel like that's where I got the love of reading and literacy and words and language and generosity. So she would always be reading a book, and I would always like ask to read the book that she was reading. You know, like, can I read that after you? Can you share your book with me? And even though she's a generous matriarch, lovely Métis woman, she would always be like, no, absolutely not. And now that I'm older, 26. Now that I'm older, I realize it's because she was reading romantic erotic fiction. Romantic erotic fiction. Yes. And I'm like, okay, thank you for this gift. Yeah, I feel like my cookum, like my grandma, I feel like she didn't love reading. She just loved, which is the anatomical correct term, okay? It's not a curse, TELUS. Yeah, going back to my love of reading, another matriarch that really shaped the person I am today, confident 26-year-old, is the brilliant author Lee Miracle. Yes, okay. Okay, we love Lee Miracle in this raw, real comedy space. Yes, Lee Miracle changed my life when I read her book, I Am Woman. And the quote that really changed my life is the quote, "The result of being colonized is the internalization of the need to remain invisible." So I'll repeat that again. The result of being colonized is the internalization of the need to remain invisible. And I read that and I was like, this is why I'm wearing green face paint. Yes, to distract from my dark skin. But I realized that like I wasn't myself. I wasn't being a gorgeous person on stage in a green outfit. I was really minimizing myself. So when I read that quote, it really changed my life. And now I'm just a monster. So Lee Miracle, we love you. Also, another iconic matriarch that shaped the person I am today. You also probably heard of her in this raw, real comedy space, everybody. You probably heard of them. They are a entrepreneur globally and 2000s icon, Snooki. Yeah, so now you know so much about me. Yeah, Snooki really, honestly, changed the way I see myself. Okay, perfect. Okay, speaking of like not knowing myself, I dated a white male for 5 years of my young life, 5 years of my young life from 18 to 23, and that's my trauma. That is my trauma. We dated from 18 to 23, and I look back now, and I'm like, okay, you did not know yourself. You were not who you are today. Like, I can't believe you're going to get engaged to that person, especially, like, we were going to get married. I was going to be a member of his family, and I realize now that would have been so awkward because I literally had nothing in common with his family. Like, I am me, but at that time, a little less well-dressed and a little less gorgeous on the inside and the outside. But yeah, I was not myself. We had nothing in common. So I was a broke comedian who's making no money, and his mom was a doctor, his brother was a doctor, and his sister was a doctor. So we had nothing in common, nothing to talk about. And at dinner, I would just say things that they would never say. One time I was trying to build a relationship, and I was okay, I'm gonna be vulnerable, and I'm gonna let you know that I'm broke. So I was at dinner, I'm broke. And then that's just something that a doctor would never say. And then and then I would also say I killed last night. And we hope that a doctor would never say those words. Okay, goodbye.
What I love about stand-up now is that it is truly who I am, and really what I find funny, my sense of humor. People close to me, when they see me on stage for the first time, or they see me on stage, they comment on how it really is just the true representation of who I am now, and I'm not playing a character, even though when I say when I go on stage, it's flipping a switch, but the switch is oh, this is my time, this is my 5 minutes, and I'm gonna be a weirdo and really express myself in the way that I want to. And also like I said, I grew up a young Indigenous woman, and I always felt this little feeling in my body that people were laughing at me, or that I had to be funny to ease the tension in the room, because people were laughing at me, or they had these expectations of me. But when I'm on stage, people are laughing with me, and I think that having that perspective on what stand-up is to me has really just changed the way that I perform. And yeah, and that is why I love it now. This is so embarrassing to say, but the first time I realized that stand-up was a thing, or what really made me realize that this was an opportunity that existed out in the world, separate from my tiny rural Kikino Métis settlement, is watching every episode of Seinfeld, the classic, forever. I just think that that was the first representation that everyone knew, all of the adults around me knew what Seinfeld was, and they loved Seinfeld because they thought, Jerry and George and Kramer were so funny and so hilarious, and I just loved watching it for the social interactions and understanding what humor is, and how each person has their own expression. And I think that was really eye-opening for me, because I thought that you had to be one thing, be the best thing, and that was get a job and work hard and be perfect all the time. But the thing about Seinfeld is that it really just opened my eyes to this whole world that existed, and that I could be a part of eventually. I don't remember how I got there, but the joke was that there's not that many things to do in Lac La Biche, but one of the things to do is go to the pool, and that is an advertised activity on the Lac La Biche tourism website. But that's a lie, because the Lac La Biche pool is never open. And that is small town humor, and I remember it being good. People laughed at it because it's true. The pool was never open. It was always closed for, hygiene and cleaning, because there was some poop in that pool, for sure. The thing that made me think that I could do stand-up is that I had no other talents, but I was really observational and really outgoing, and I was a theater kid, and I couldn't act and I couldn't sing and I couldn't dance, and I was just trying all these things to like see what I was good at, and none of them were landing. And I was like, okay, I want to have a creative career. That's my future. I'm going to like move to Vancouver and I'm going to have a creative life, but I need to figure out what that creative field is. And so at the talent show, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm 17. I'm moving soon. Like, this is just a great opportunity to get on a stage and force me to like write some jokes and see like what is going to work. And yeah, I think that is the honest answer. I was not good at anything else. I was really good at public speaking. And so I think that was really just a little push that I needed, was that talent show. I don't think I got explicitly bad advice or unsolicited advice when I first started out. I think I just got positive reinforcement on jokes that I wasn't really proud of. Like looking back, my early jokes were really weird and like punching down when I was trying to express my indigeneity, because that is what I saw being successful, you know, like those punching down humor. And yeah, I remember my first open mic sets, they were me trying to be edgy, and you know, the room responded. And I think when I look back, I'm like, I can't believe I ever like said that or had those beliefs, because it's totally not the way that I express my indigeneity now, which is very much positive and fun and glamorous and goofy. And I think that is just weird to think about. So if you saw me in 2018, I'm different now. I think good advice I got was to just get on stage as much as I could and try things out in many different ways, and to just really be resilient and keep going back, because you are gonna bomb and it's gonna be so embarrassing and you're gonna want to die. But if this is something you really want and you want to be successful at, you have to be bad at it before you're good. And I wish that someone had just reminded me about that. Like, I thought I had to be, you know, getting laughs immediately. So I think that's where those like punching down jokes came from. But you have to just try and fail. You're gonna bomb. It's gonna be so embarrassing, but you'll be great. What I would like to see more of in the future in Canadian comedy is the growth of Indigenous comedians and the featuring of performers of color and the comedians that we don't currently see, because the way that comedy is structured right now in the country is that, you know, there are elite that are booking the shows, and those colonial narratives play out in media today still. And it's really frustrating because there's so many talented performers that deserve that stage time. And I'm not talking, you know, about me, but there's so many performers that deserve that time to develop and that time to grow, and they deserve to be featured at big festivals, on TV. And I would just love to see Indigenous comedians really have that space and time to express themselves and be who they are and what they think is funny. And I think right now, the way that comedy is structured, we see those colonial narratives in media, so we're still playing to those audiences that are expecting us to perform in that certain way. So I would love to see that change. Okay, I am so glad I said that joke about my cookgum, because love her to D, but I'm like also nervous that that fact is out in the world, but it's the honest truth. And I've never read the romance novels. I've read the titles and I've seen, you know, the cover of like Fabio Gorge, but I don't think I'll ever read them. You know, it's not a secret. She has bookshelves with them on them, so we're all aware.
We love to make you laugh with all the jokes we have. That's why we do what we do. You're why we are funny. Richmond to Surrey, Delta and Deep Cove. We love to make you laugh.